Okay. Hi, friends. Nicole, Vincent here today. We are having the fabulous Naomi Fox Reina with us today. She is an expert in astrology and human design and all things light filled. She is amazing. She is my mentor in both astrology and human design. And I am certified through her program of light filled astrologers and haven't done her human design program yet, but knowing the quality of her astrology program, I know that it is spectacular. I have seen a few peaks, as Naomi has shared some stuff, but today we're actually going to be talking about how human design and understanding that can actually help you in your entrepreneurial pursuits and just kind of what this brings to the table. And Naomi she's so phenomenal. And I just adore her, not only as a teacher, but just as a person and individual. And just, yeah. So thanks for being here, Naomi.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I feel so passionate about the entrepreneur's journey and how the engagement in business and customers and products. I love it so much. And I'm so excited to talk to your audience today about how something like the human design system could actually help impact revenue and making your life easier and better and more satisfying and successful and all of it.
I love it because both of us are entrepreneurs. We both have been doing this for a while, different things, but understanding you, right? Understanding yourself through the human design lens, for me personally, has just opened up a world of momentum, possibilities, creative energy, like so many things. And so it just has helped so much just in my personal life, understanding my human design.
Yeah.
So before we dive into like all the fun stuff of human design, maybe why don't you tell us kind of the kindergarten version of human design so those that aren't familiar with it can kind of get a grasp on what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, absolutely. So, human design is a relatively new system. It's a synthesis of astrology and the Kabbalah and the I Ching and quantum physics. And basically, all of that comes together to give you a really clear map of how your energy is managed, how other people experience you, especially in person, but relationship dynamics and just how you may be received that you may not know. And also, my favorite thing about human design is it gives you the clear how. So many things don't tell you the how. It's like this is how you go through your life to create literally the very best thing that is possible for you, probably better than anything you could even come up with on your own.
I totally agree. I think it's the most actionable
Yes.
system out
Yes.
there with
Yes.
minimum understanding. You don't even have to have a huge
Exactly.
understanding
With
before you can.
astrology, it's so helpful, but you really have to get down to understanding the four dimensions as I call them. Once you kind of see how they all work and they sort of get up on all fours and can walk around, then you're like, "Oh, now I can apply this." And that's beautiful. If I want to know about psychology or I want to know about timing things, I definitely go to astrology. Totally brilliant. If I want to know success principles, if I want to know how to actually achieve the goal that I have, if I want to know what environment I need to be in, if I want to know why some people just think I'm amazing and why some people just don't even see me and why some people hate me, all of that is really clearly in your human design. And it's as soon as you understand it, it just clicks. And different than astrology, the most potent, valuable stuff is the easiest to understand. And then it turns into this whole rabbit hole, which is amazing. But to make it actionable, you can pretty much learn the basics of your human design in 30 minutes and actually apply it in your life.
And that's so true. And once you see it, once you test it out, right? You test out those basic principles in your life, and you're like, oh my gosh, why have I not been doing this my whole life?
Yeah.
And you see that they work. You want to know more because you're like, okay, if this little adjustment worked, what else am I missing? What else can I tweak in my life that will make my path smoother, that will make my path more successful, that will make my efforts more fruitful? Because all of us we're designed differently, right? We're all unique. And but we do fit into these five different types. So why don't we talk a little bit about the different types?
Yes. So there's 5 different aura types in human design. If you've never heard of this before or you don't know what yours are, go to lightfilled.co, like filledwithlight.co, and you can run your chart there. You're going to want as accurate of a birth minute as possible because it's based on the day and time you were born. But then you can like pause this and like come back to it once you know your type, or you can listen to the whole thing and then eventually you're going to want to go run your chart anyway. But
And
there's
we'll have
five
the link in the description too. So
yeah, there's 5 different aura types and they're not evenly split. So there's manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. So manifestors are about 8%, 9% of the population, so less common. They're here to inform, they're here to initiate, they're here to get things going. And they are the inceptors of pretty much everything that has ever been started. Then generators are about 35% of the population. That's Nicole. And generators are here to play and have fun and be like the wheel that makes the world move because they've got the energy, they've got the consistent on demand, like when things are aligned. When it is a yes, they are here for it. When it's a no, they're like a lump on the ground and they're like, I have no energy and I don't want to do anything.
or a lump on the couch. That's usually where my lump forms.
Yes, exactly. And so like where it's like, if you're lit up, you're lit up and you can just go and like collapse in bed exhausted happily and like it's the best day ever and then you get up and do it again. Manifesting generators are like a hybrid of the first two. So they have that go, but they also have the manifested channel and they're about 35% of the population. So about 70% total between the generators and the manifesting generators have that defined sacral. So they have that like magnificent lit up energy that is amazing when it's on and it's really sad and frustrating for them when it's off. And so the bulk of humans are generators or manifesting generators. And then we have about 20% of the population are projectors. Projectors are lower energy for the most part. I am a projector. I'm a very high energy projector comparatively when I'm not dealing with any chronic illness or anything like that. But my natural baseline is to be higher energy because I have a lot of motors for a projector. And so projectors are here to guide and to tweak and to optimize. They're not here to work consistently the way that like the generator or the manifesting generator can. Even if a projector loves what they do, they are just more reduced in the amount of output, but generally they can be more optimized in their output. And projectors really are living in their most successful way when they're guiding the generators and the manifesting generators to use their magnificent energy even more optimally. So if you're a smart generator or manifesting generator, you'll go find a healthy projector and say, please help me live better. And they will say, oh, you're so welcome. I will do it. And then reflectors are about 1% of the population. And they are here to just reflect to the rest of us, like how we're doing. If you want a truly authentic reflection on your life, go ask a reflector what they think of you. And they will tell you in no uncertain terms. I actually just got off of a call with 2 business coaches that are like amazing. And one is a generator and she's absolutely fabulous. And the other one is a reflector. So anytime the reflector was like, this is what I'm seeing, I'm like, tell me, like, I want to hear everything you have to say because it's just a different level of value coming from a reflector because of how their aura mechanics work. So that's a quick and dirty overview of all 5 aura types.
I love it. And what's so interesting is how each of those aura types and what human design, I think for me really teaches is how you interact with your environment, with other people. And once you understand that, it can completely change your day-to-day life, which in turn will kind of this ripple effect, right? This domino effect that for me personally, like I met Naomi at a time when I was like the lump on the couch. And that's when I got involved with astrology and learned about human design and understanding those principles of as a generator. For me, I'm supposed to respond to stimuli, but it's got to be the right stimuli, right? Like it's got to be, I've got to listen to it. And understanding that and practicing that led me to a place where I'm at now, where I am in that positive generator energy, where I literally can go from sun up to sundown. And right now my energy is super focused on the Amazon influencer program and I love it. And it brings me so much joy and I have so much energy for it because I'm responding. I'm not forcing it. There's joy. And it's just been huge for me. And
Yeah.
so when you understand your type and understand how to interact in the according to your type, you can really have some big shifts.
It's so true. And I love that. And I wanted to go back to what you said about how other people experience you and all of that. Like a quick overview of so your aura is your type, and it's how other people literally experience you. The manifestors have a repelling aura. So it actually pushes people away. They could be the most lovely personality ever, but their aura is communicating something maybe different than they want to, that protects their undefined sacral, is what makes them a manifester. So they need to not have their energy drained by the wrong people or situations so that they can initiate for the rest of us. And so they're like, I don't know why, like people just won't come sit next to me. People won't like come up and talk to me. It's like, because your aura is telling them to go away. Like you have to be the one to initiate it. And the generator and the manifesting generator technically are the same aura type, but with the manifested channel for the manifesting generator, it really is worth calling them a different type. But functionally, they have the same aura type of open and enveloping. And I've talked to generators who are like, I'm an introvert. I am not open or enveloping. It's like, but your aura is. And that might explain a few things about, how it is that people just come up to you. And when a generator is in their yummy kind of vibe, like they're so magnetic and they're so amazing. And they just polarize things to them that give them a chance to respond to it. And they have the most incredible opportunities and situations and ideas that just pop up when their open and enveloping aura is working for them and they're living in an aligned, satisfied way. The projector, like myself, is a focused and penetrating aura. So it's totally different. And so the projectors in your life, which 1 in 5 people on the planet are projectors, are literally, they can't help it. It's just the way that it is, but their aura penetrates into other people. Projectors are made to violate energetic boundaries. And so when somebody says, yes, please, like I want your insight, it feels amazing when they're focused on you. You're like, oh, this feels so good. Like, I feel like you really get me. I feel like you really see me. But if you don't want that projector focused on you, that penetrating aura feels like a violation, and it's like, go away, like, wah. And you can feel very repelled by them and very irritated with them. And then the projector gets sad and bitter. So when projectors wait and they only are interacting with people that want to interact with them, oh, the world goes around so much better. And the reflectors have a sampling aura. They'll just kind of come over here and nibble on this energy, and they'll feel out this energy, and they'll go try out this spot. And so they're just like, it's like Teflon, like stuff just kind of slides off of them, but they just sort of like sample it. And so just knowing those things that we talked about, like just the basics of like what you're here for and how your aura interacts, like just having that awareness, you can go, oh my gosh, that explains my marriage. Or like, oh, that's why this child of mine is so easy for me. Or like we consistently struggle, like just the very most basics. If you can like run the charts of the people in your life, all of the sudden things that were not explainable any other way come into focus. And that's just personal life. That's not even business.
Exactly. So you hinted it a little bit, but let's talk about not self. Like what because this was huge for me.
Yes.
Because each of them have a different indicator, a different emotional feel when they are out of alignment. That is that immediate red flag that lets you know you're out of alignment and something needs to change. So let's talk about that one.
Yes. Okay. So I call these the sacred signals because they are potent for each individual type. And other people can experience these emotions, but if it is your type and this particular signal comes up, yeah, it's like a red flag popping up of like, hey, you got off course somewhere, like back up and try it again. And that's all that it is this loving, kind of harsh, like unyielding reminder. I see it as loving. I see it as like, thank you so much for correcting me. So the manifestors, when they're not living true to themselves, they haven't informed properly, they get angry. And people are like, well, I get angry and I'm not a manifestor. It's like, yes, but a manifestor has a very different relationship with anger. It is specifically when they get interrupted, when they get stopped, when they're flow, if they're trying to initiate something and they get crunchy and somebody is like, oh, you can't do that. You can't, that's a no. And it's like, I wasn't asking for permission. Like I have a lot of manifestors in my space. My mother and 3 of my siblings are manifestors. So like I am disproportionately surrounded by manifestors. And then I just have several others in my personal life. And it's so interesting watching them when they slip into anger. because I can't penetrate their repelling aura the same way as a projector. Like I have to basically let them inform to me about things. And so it's a very interesting interaction to watch them. And then when they are in alignment, they specifically feel the energy of peace. So the manifester is going to be in anger when they're not living true to themselves, and peace when they are. And people listening, they're like, well, that sounds lovely. I want peace. So then the generator and the manifesting generator, when they don't properly wait to respond, when they don't wait, when they initiate or they push through or they grind it out and they're like, I just got to get the work done. It doesn't matter how I feel. Like, you're going to feel frustrated. And any generator out there is like, oh, yeah, 100%. Like,
that is seriously like, that was such, for me as a generator and learning that, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because that is like, if I step back, I'm like, that is the underlying emotion or negative emotion that I go to when I'm feeling stuck, when whatever's not going my way, or even if I think it's going my way, but it's not, is that frustration. It's just like, oh, like, why can't I get this right? Or why is this not going how it's this frustration. So
yes. And I've got 3 generators that I live with and a manifesting generator between my husband and my 3 boys. And the sounds that come out of a generator, a manifesting generator, when they're frustrated, like, like, it's always like this guttural kind of like, my son was just doing it last night, like late, he was doing something on the computer and I was in the middle of talking to him and he was like, and I was like, do you need some help with something? He's like, I'm just frustrated. I'm like, I know, I can tell from here, like, holy cow. And it's like, yeah, but everybody gets frustrated. Well, first of all, 70% of the planet, this is their state a lot of the time because they're not properly waiting to respond. And the beautiful, amazing signal that the generator or manifesting generator is living in alignment is satisfaction. Yes. And so every generator that's listening was like, oh, I love to be satisfied. Like, we're talking like you eat the thing and it's yummy, or you accomplish the task. Even when you're doing something that isn't technically pleasant, but you got the generator, yes, that sacral, like, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. Even if it's not very pleasant, like cleaning a toilet or whatever, like, you can still feel that satisfaction of like, I did this thing, if it's aligned for you. Yeah. If you're just pushing through because you're like, well, somebody has to do it and I hate this, but whatever, like, you're not going to end up with satisfaction. Even if you accomplish the thing, you'll end up in frustration. And so you wait to respond on the things that are correct for you, and then you move towards satisfaction ideally. And if along the way you hit frustration, you just didn't properly wait to respond somewhere in there. It's not a big deal. Just pause, take your hands off the wheel and go, okay, where did you don't even need to analyze where it went wrong. Just stop doing things until there's something to respond to. People are like, that's going to take forever. I'm like, it will probably take 12 seconds for something to come into your space to respond to.
That is so true. And I want to take just a slight detour with this, because there are so many of us, like, it is a higher percentage of the population. I think that the waiting to respond, we overthink it.
Yes.
And
it's not here. It's not here at
here.
all.
It literally is anything in front of you.
Yeah.
Or it's something on your phone or in your room, or
a sound, a smell, exactly. Like just anything external, anything external to you. Like, you can overhear the neighbors screaming at each other, and that can somehow be something to respond to.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I want to get up and go to the gym so I don't have to hear them screaming at each other. Like, whatever it is. But if you get that, like, like I want to change where I'm at or whatever, but don't initiate until there's something to respond to, because generators are told, just go out and get it. Like, just decide what you want. And this is where we really get into business world stuff of like, just build a business and go tell everybody about it and it'll work out great. And there's a really good chance there's a manifestor coach out there telling them to do that, because it did work for the manifestor coach. But for the generator coach and even the manifesting generator, like, you really are here to wait to respond. And it is empowering when you understand the process, because to me as a projector, when I look at the energy of generators and manifesting generators, it's literally like the whole universe is set up for you. You have angels and like all of this beautiful, like, the universe loves you so much that it's literally like they're just standing there, like, holding the gifts that you need, holding the next step, holding the next process. And they're just like, would you like this? Would you like this? And that is what you're responding to, of, yes, I want that. No, I don't want that. No, no, no. Oh, yes. And like, you just get to basically go down the menu of life And I have a friend who's a manifester and she's hilarious and sassy. And she says, generators are God's favorite. And like, I've thought about that as like, it's true because the world is set up and optimized for a generator when you know yourself.
Yeah.
And when you're living in alignment, like you and this huge transformation you've had of being like, oh, just simply understanding how to wait to respond is life changing on its own. And that alone as a business strategy, like you'll 10x your income.
Totally, totally. And so like for generators and manifesting generators, we get the blessing of a physical or type response. And sometimes it takes a little practice if you have been ignoring your body for a while.
Yeah.
But you can literally feel it somewhere in your body. I usually feel mine lower. Like I think most people that I've talked to it feels like more in that gut region. Some people will feel it at different places, but you feel this if you're like, okay, do I want to eat the steak or do I want to eat a salad? And when you think about the steak and your body's like, and you think about the salad and you're like, you know, like you can feel a difference. And that is your sacral response, which is such a gift. And it really, when you learn how to tune into that, it is beautiful and miraculous. And like you said, like the universe is literally like, you've got this golden path. You just have to listen to yourself, to the ahas and the uhs. And it literally lays out. And that has been my experience for the past 2 years of really practicing as a generator to respond to the various stimuli. And it can be something like silly, like, okay, for Amazon influencers, for example, I will be doing some product research on something that I might want to purchase as an investment to do a review on because I think it's going to be lucrative. And I can look at the listings and there's, I've got stats using my different apps and things like that. And I can feel the gut response. Like when I'm thinking like, is this something that would be good to invest in? And I can feel the or the And when I follow that and I don't use my brain, it literally has been money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like some woo-woo crazy witchcraft or whatever, but it's not. It's
like, try it out.
How the majority of us are wired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so absolutely.
That's kind of derailing because we still need to finish the other.
Right, and you can find like the black horses that way. Like you can, because there's a knowing within you that is superior. Your brain is amazing. Like our brains are incredible, but they're also very, very limited in perception, and we know that. And so, like back to the steak and salad thing, like you might have gotten an on the salad, and it's like that's weird. Like I really love salads. It's like maybe that day the lettuce is bad at the restaurant, and you would get sick. Like who knows that? But if you don't go into like thinking like, no, my macros are a little low, and I need to eat a salad for like. Yes, be intelligent and like be like present in your life to an extent. But when you really go into that surrender, when you really understand that you can trust that everything is working out for your very best good. Like, and yes, it's worth spending extra time on the generators and manifesting generators just because the majority of the population are that. And I have a vision that if all generators and manifesting generators understood their sacral response and they really were attuned to going more for satisfaction and really listening when they hit frustration, the whole world would change. Because you go out and drive anywhere, you go to the store, or you do anything, you scroll through the news. And from my lens, what I see is a lot of frustrated generators. And they're just unhappy and all they want is satisfaction. They think they want money. They think they want, the cars and the whatever, fill in the blank. Ultimately, all of that is serving satisfaction if you're a generator type. Yep. And so it's just like, let's just help all the generators as a projector. That's where I see like the optimization is most ideal. And so as a projector, the not self theme is honestly, I think it's the most tricky because projectors inherently, if you are a projector, what I'm about to tell you, you're initially going to be like, oh, that's not me. I don't struggle with that. And I'm like, or like you do. And so the projector is here to wait for the invitation. So they need to wait for that recognition so that their penetrating aura doesn't violate people and that they can actually be using their amazing gifts for good. Like Taylor Swift is a projector. I love the interview she just did where she talked about you need to treat your energy as though it's expensive. And that's beautiful advice for everyone, but especially as a projector. Like you need to treat it like there is gold coming out of my mouth. And if you don't see that, if you don't appreciate that, not from like an egotistical standpoint, but if you don't see that, I'm just not going to invest my energy here because there are people that do need it. And if I pour my energy in here, I won't have it later for this person who does need what I have. They can learn from another projector because projectors are not for everyone. And so the not self of the projector who fails to wait for a properly recognized invitation is bitterness. And it is the most heinous, the most stinky, the most awful of all the not selves because it is diametrically opposed to getting to their success, which is the signature of the projector when they're living in alignment. And so I say all the time, being a projector is both the best and the worst one at the same time, because when you are in your not self, you literally chase away the invitations. You like, people are like, wow, that person, oh, like, it's just you. I guarantee you anybody listening is like, yeah, I wonder if that person is a bitter projector in my life, because everybody knows somebody that just is repelling. Like they are just their energy feels kind of putrid, and I've definitely been this person. And really it's a protection because the projector has probably gotten themselves too worn out,
Yeah.
and then they're just pushing and they're grinding it out and all of that. But there are people that spend decades in their bitterness that are projectors because they don't know. And so when you properly rest, you properly take care of yourself, and you wait for those really yummy recognized invitations, the signature is inevitably success. And it's like, you'll get I got a call once from somebody and they were like, I'm going to this red carpet event and I have an extra ticket and I was wondering if you'd like to come with me. And like, you get like these wildly amazing invitations where it's like, and I'll pick you up in my helicopter. And it's like, you're just like, how does this happen? Like, this is like, it's just success begets success begets success. And so it's just more and more. And so if you're a projector and you're stuck in bitterness town, more than likely you are doing way too much. You are not taking care of yourself, and you are talking to people who have absolutely no interest in what you're saying. And so you'll get into that bitterness. And as a projector, I just am so careful about that. And I really, really have come to protect my own energy, because being successful is really fun. And being bitterness is in the bitterness is awful.
Well,
and nobody wants to hang out with me.
Like, bitterness is just such a poisonous emotion to inhibit. And as projectors, like, I've seen some bitter projectors, and it is like it just is like it's oozing out of them. And it's not a fun energy to be around. And I couldn't imagine it would be a fun energy to be stuck in. Like,
well, and it's like this ultimate victim mindset. And if you're a projector and you're stuck in it or you've been in it, like, it's not a flaw. This is that sacred signal to say, exactly. Hey, sweetie, like, we're going to make you bitter so that people run away so that you can rest. And ironically, we don't get the message as projectors, so we just push harder, which makes everything worse. But if we really treated it like that, when the generator gets into frustration, to go, oh, like, but a frustrated generator can kind of get to satisfaction even through the frustration. The bitterness, you have to stop. You have to back up and go down a different road. You cannot keep going down the road of bitterness to get to success. You can kind of keep going. You can kind of like muddle your way directly from the frustration to the satisfaction. Like, it can happen in like an instant, almost, of like, oh, there it is. Oh, now I'm satisfied. And even the anger to the peace with the manifester, but specifically the projector bitterness is like, if Taylor Swift got on an interview and was all bitter, like, some of her songs, you can hear her bitterness come through a little bit, but she still is like, we don't know the state that she was in, that she had to pull herself out of to put into the success, because she can't perform in a bitter state. She can't, record in that state. I mean, love her or hate her, that's irrelevant, but like, that's just, you can't deny the success of her as a projector.
Yeah, she's a great example, and she's dropping a new album, and I'm a total Swiftie, so I'm totally fine with it.
You're like, I'm here for it. Well, she's a fellow Sagittarius like you and I, so of course, and then the reflector, the not self, so they are here to wait for an entire lunar cycle. Like, everybody else is like, oh, mine sucks, wait to respond, wait for an invitation, inform. But the reflector, they have to wait for a full lunar cycle. And when they don't properly do that, their not self is disappointment, because they can amplify and project onto people like far more of what they are than they are themselves. They're the ultimate, like, seeing potential where it's not ever going to come to fruition. And so the disappointment of the reflector is like just epic. And then their actual signature is surprise, which I feel like is more like delight, because there's people like, I don't like surprises. But when they're like surprised by somebody's like, oh, that went so well, or I went to this event and it was incredible, or like they just, so they know that they're living true to themselves and they're around the right people and they're in the right environments when they're repeatedly surprised by life and others.
I like that. I like that.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so let's take this into, I know there's parts of human design that kind of help you know what work environments and things like that are beneficial. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I think
Yeah.
that that would be really helpful for my audience.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely love environments. I think that this is like, it's technically like a little bit more of an advanced
Yeah.
part of human design. Like to explain like how it's calculated, you don't need to know that. You just need to know that it exists. And so there are 6 different environments, and they kind of go from like a evolutionary standpoint. So we start with caves, which is very basic. So somebody who's caves marketplace, like, or sorry, caves environment, like they just want like a one entrance, like somebody comes into their space, they control what's happening around them. They often like it a little bit even darker and things like that. The second one is markets, which is like going out there and like where things are exchanged and like where business deals are happening. I'm markets. And so like I love going to like events or bazaars or like festivals and stuff like I love it so much. It makes me so happy because it's really about options. It's about having options. I want 12 different kinds of olive oil to pick from. Like that delights me. Some people it's like their worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
Then there's kitchens, which is what you are.
Yep.
And so kitchens is like the idea, like in a kitchen, you have all these different ingredients that you can kind of put in and create something. And like it can be messy, it can be neat, but like there's often like a synthesis or a creation aspect that is with the kitchens. And often it's a very social one, because often in kitchens you're like chatting with people and it's like a place to gather. And so all 3 of my boys are kitchens. How wild is that? And they all actually cook pretty well, which is really fun.
It cracks me up when I saw that because I totally do not cook. I don't
Yeah,
enjoy cooking,
because it's not
but
about that.
I know it's not about that. But when you think about like for me personally, like, okay, yeah, I like kitchens also have a lot of options, but you can
Yeah.
do a lot with what you got. And
Yes.
it's close, it's at hand. I don't
Yeah.
have to like leave my little bubble and but I can create a lot from this one place.
Yes,
And
exactly. Things
that's
come
what
to you and then you mix it together. Yeah, where it's not social in the sense of like pursuing, but it's like cool, like the people that I want to hang out with, the relationships, or sometimes you're in the kitchen just doing your own thing by yourself and like really focused on creating something incredible.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
so
for
um,
sure.
love it.
Then next is mountains, which is like a peak, like it's like a summiting, it's like a elevated, and like we're talking literal mountains, like you could go live in the mountain area or regularly retreat to or vacation to, or if you live in a city or something, you want to like live on a higher floor. So like somebody who's mountains living on like the first or second floor, no bueno. But like, and not that you need to like invest in like the peak, like the most expensive, like 5 times as much as the first floor kind of a thing. But to be thinking like in an elevated way, like where can I be higher? Because it's about that perspective and
Yeah.
it's about like the journey to get there. And then the next one is valleys, which is being down in like an enclosed sort of a place. And there's wide valleys and narrow valleys. There's 2 different ones with that. But it's being in a space where there is like the mix of like it takes a village type of a thing, and you're in with all the different people and there's protection there, and it's the opposite, it feels like it's the opposite of mountains. It's technically not, but you're in the valley. And then the last one is shores, which is where you have 2 different environments coming together. And it's very much like a melting pot. Like my husband is this, and he loves to ride his dirt bike out in nature and everything, but he doesn't like race it. He likes to like climb over rocks and trees and tree trunks and everything that have fallen over, and like he does what's called enduro. And so it's not the fast like go 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 go, and I'm like, that feels like shores to me, because he's taking a dirt bike over rocks. Like you wouldn't think that those 2 things would go together, and he really just loves water. And so like anytime he can be out like near a stream or things like that. And so and he does like the shoreline, but for him it's really more about like the 2 completely different environments coming together. that he's like, yeah, I do. Like at first he's like, I don't like the beach. Like that's how he interpreted it. Like he's not a beach person because he doesn't love the heat. And so, but it's that like two different things that generally don't go together, but sometimes they do, like land and water.
Yeah. And I think that understanding your environments can really help you set up workspaces and work
Yes.
environments that are going to be more successful for you. So if
Yes.
you've got a cave, right, like you definitely want to kind of hunker down and really like not be in a giant open room.
Yeah.
And for me, like with kitchens, I need to have everything right kind of at my hands. I don't want to
Yes.
have to go too far, but I also, they're social. Like my door to my room it's French doors with windows. And so like, I don't want to be totally closed off. I
Mhm.
gotta look up my husband and he might be caves because his home office is like this dark little tiny room.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It'd be interesting to look his up.
yeah, but understanding what environment fits you better can help you have more success and honestly create more energy and momentum for
Mhm.
doing whatever you're going to be working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're not at least regularly putting yourself in your environment or like continually, there's just going to be a limit to your ability to be successful, satisfied, at peace, whatever. And this is where it gets so nuanced. And something like environment is going to be very sensitive to the birth minute. Like there's other things that possibly aren't going to change, like the whole day that you're born. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But something like that. So if you're just guessing your birth time, like you don't know, no, you can kind of glance at what the environment is, but like really it's worth putting forth the effort to figure out like, okay, like let's see how accurate we can get this birth minute because it really, that one changes pretty quick throughout the day.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what other aspects of human design do you think can really give you some either actionable steps or insights as like if somebody is in that entrepreneurial space?
Yeah, I truly believe it like there's like sayings within the human design world of it all comes down to strategy and authority. So your strategy is like we talked about, that's aura specific. So inform, wait to respond, wait for the invitation, wait for a lunar cycle. That's the strategy. So if you're struggling at all in a relationship with work, whatever it is, like go to your strategy and really just do some self-evaluation and be honest with yourself. Like, how is this going? And check in with yourself and see, am I living true to this or am I like way off base or am I just a little bit off base? Because that is really important. Then there's something called authority, and there's several different authority types in human design, and that's really how you get your answers. It's the clarity of like how do you know what's right for you? Like an emotional authority, that's the most common type. You and I are both emotional authorities. That doesn't mean our emotions are the authority. What it means is that we are going to always have emotions and we need to wait for the emotional ups and downs while making a decision until they kind of even out, and then we can get clarity. So not saying yes when we're so excited or not saying no when we're like, I don't want to do that. And like really letting, like just noticing like, oh, I'm so excited about this. That's great. Like, and just noticing the excitement, noticing like, oh yeah, this and this and this would be so great about it. And then when you wake up the next morning, you're like, I can't do that. That's not going to work out. It's like, notice why. And then go back to the excitement. And so like anybody who's an emotional authority is like, how do you know me so well? Because it's like there's going to be that initial, like somebody might say, oh, let's go to lunch on Tuesday at 1, and you're like, yes, let's do it. But if you don't give yourself even for something as benign as like going to lunch, initially you'll say yes, and the next morning you're like, why did I say yes? They're going to bring, their husband that I can't stand or whatever. And it's like, or I can't do it at 1. That's too close to needing to pick up the kids for soccer. I should have told her I could do it at like 11:30. And so it's just, the thing about the emotional authority is you may still end up saying yes, but you'll say yes on the best terms for you
Yeah.
if you're not in that emotionally charged place. So it's a misnomer a little bit that your emotions are not your authority, but that you have to honor that you are having emotions before you can make a decision.
Yeah. And that's something I think for me, I think I actually learned this about myself prior to understanding human design is that because I'm a very like, I'm a fiery energy. I am very like decisive and I usually can make decisions really quickly, which is, I think, a gift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I have learned, and it totally fits with the emotional authority, is like that excitement does come up quick and I have to let it kind of give it a pause. Like I typically will not answer right away
Yeah.
There are some cases that I do answer right away, and I've kind of learned to train myself to kind of go through that emotional flow a little quicker in some circumstances. Like bigger decisions,
Mhm.
I definitely want to wait it out a little bit. But knowing that and knowing the pause before I commit, either saying yes or saying no, has been so big because it lets the wave ride. And sometimes that wave is longer. Sometimes it's a couple minutes, sometimes it's a few days, sometimes it's a few weeks. It kind of depends on what it is, right? But I think that emotional authority is it's a little hard to understand, but can be very helpful once you kind of get
Yes,
the gist of it. And I love
absolutely.
how well you're able to break things down so people can understand and apply it. So
Yeah, I'm so passionate about helping people understand these things, which is why I've created a whole certification program with an entire collaboration team because I feel like human design makes astrology look like nursery level.
it totally does. Yeah.
And so, like, I know quite a bit about human design, but I also, I just wanted to bring in people who were even more of an expert in certain areas of human design. And so the certification is created with six of us. And so a variety of aura types, including a reflector. And it is it is the most thorough teaching of human design that I've seen anywhere, the most accessible, and I'm extremely proud of it. And so I really believe that as a business person, understanding your human design, understanding your strategy, understanding your authority, and just getting like the basics really, really solid can absolutely change everything. I know for me, when I first started integrating it, my income literally tripled and then it went 10x. And it wasn't even that I started out like directly using human design in my business. It was just thoroughly understanding myself. I could immediately stop doing the things that I didn't realize that I was completely violating my natural order of how I'm supposed to be. And I could really lean into the stuff that was working for me. And I could retroactively look at my successes in the past and go, I was living really in alignment then and I didn't know it, because I think that this is just a truth within us that we do know, and it just gives us the consciousness of it. And then I could see that when I stepped out of that because I thought that I should, and I started acting like a different type, not realizing that that's what happened. And I can clearly see, oh yeah, if I had understood human design, I probably would have said, oh, that's not going to work for me. And I would have gently just not allowed somebody to tell me to do it differently. That led to some pretty hardcore burnout that took me years to recover from. And so now knowing this, like, I'm extremely well attuned. It has my business is flourishing because of it, but also like the to me the best thing is like my marriage is amazing and my relationship with my kids is so good because I can meet them where they're at, and I can also know my limits, and I can explain to them, I'm like, I'm a projector and all y'all have a defined sacral, so that means you've got this gift and this awesome thing and this benefit, but it means we are not expecting this from me. And like every type has their own version of that. And so to have clarity for myself and to put the clarity in their hands too, it's impacted my personal life, but my my business from when I first learned about it is like completely unrecognizable.
it is. I think it's so hard to put a value on truly understanding how you function and understanding systems like this, because they do not only do they help you just understand you, it ripples out into every area of your life.
Hmm.
And I think that human design is just it's so applicable in every situation. It, like you said, relationships, your business, your emotional healing, and this partners with so many different
Hmm.
things, whether you're doing therapy, whether you're coaching, whether you're just trying to live your best life. Like, this system partners with so many, like, anything really, and in such a complementary way, and just helps that level of understanding that leads to better relationships, better communication, and better just use of your natural gifts and your natural energy and your natural flow. And when you're honoring that, it's beautiful,
Hmm.
right? It just
Yeah.
it makes everything smoother. It makes everything, doesn't make it perfect, like it doesn't erase problems,
Yeah.
but it definitely um, helps you understand when you're hitting that wall. And for me, when I feel that frustration as a generator, I know I'm hitting a wall. and then I can step back and try to reevaluate, see what I need to respond to. Projectors can, do something similar where they're feeling that bitterness, they can back up and, okay, maybe I need to take a different road. And understanding your personal cues, your personal flow, it's amazing. And I love your programs because they are so top notch, and you really, as a projector and just as you, attract such top notch people. And
actually, it's great.
it is fabulous. And so not only is your program it has, you say 6 other people or 6 including you?
6 including me for the collaboration team, and then the students that show up for each of the cohorts, because I'm very picky. I will not have more than 30 people in a cohort because I really want people to learn. I don't want them to get into a class and look around and be like, oh, I'm one of 150 people here, like nobody knows me.
Yeah.
But like I want it to be like a high touch learning environment where there's a lot of focus on each person to really get this for themselves, to really, really be successful.
Yeah. And having experienced one of your other programs, I know that is like the biggest value, because in those situations where you're having your call and you're trying to learn, and you're able to coach us through those places where we're struggling to understand or give better examples or even more insight. And it's just amazing. It's so good. Yeah. I love it so much. So when does your next program start?
So we are starting one in the middle of October 2025. So if you're seeing this in time, you definitely want to reach out to Nicole. She has an awesome link for you that you can get signed up. You can also reach out and just book a call with me. And with the link that Nicole has, you'll have the ability to do that. And I'm happy to answer questions or talk with you about the program and just see if it's a right fit for you. I don't have these opening all the time. And so like I don't currently have the next one scheduled. It'll probably be in 6 months or so, but it's not going to be soon. So if you're feeling sparked, this is the second one that we've started for the human design cohort. Yeah, the astrology one's been going since for the last few years, and I've had about 150 students go through the astrology one. There's 55 fully certified light field astrologers in the world, which is absolutely amazing. And there's 14 fully certified human design experts already. And we're just barely opening the next cohort. So like, if you want like actual results, if you want a program you're actually going to finish and actually learn stuff from, like I have built it all in with so much live support. I insist on 2 experts on every single of the live calls, because then you can have somebody in the chat, you can have 2 different perspectives, 2 different people answering, so that you can really get it. And it's both the technical learning, but it's also the personal. Like, hey, can you help me understand my husband? He's driving me crazy. Like, can we just pull up his chart? Like, I'm looking at this, but I've been looking at it too long. And as a group, you can go through this learning together and listening to other people's stuff. It's like you're watching like micro session after micro session happen with experts. And it's just, when I sat down and I was like, how would I want to have learned this? Because I created these programs because they didn't exist. Yeah. I wanted something that held that high standard, that allowed for my faith to be present and even discussed, and to actually have accurate learning that's very thorough and structured. And so I created that, and it was like, well, obviously we're going to need some live support. You can't just throw a program at somebody and think they're going to get it. So like, it's just, I've thought of everything.
Yeah. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're adding a new, your extra little program as a bonus, aren't you?
Yes, starting with this cohort, because people are like, this is great, but like, how will I make money? And I'm very passionate about making lots of good money doing something that like is really meaningful in the world, whatever that looks like for you. And so I created an entire program this year called the 12 Sacred Keys to Consistent $10,000 Months. And that whole entire program and all the different support and everything to give you every unique perspective that you need to actually consistently make good money is a bonus. Like, I'm including it in this cohort so that you can learn the full human design program and also get the 12 keys so you can get those consistent $10,000 months. And then I'm providing live monthly support for that part, for the business piece, because that, I'm just so passionate about helping people to unpack their own stuff. So yeah, this is like so much value.
It is. It's huge. And she makes it very like, pull up the thing, book a call with Naomi. She definitely has payment options that are so affordable. And I just like, it is money well spent. Like I've thrown a lot of money away on crappy programs,
Yes.
but I probably would have had more joy flushing those bills down the toilet. I'm not even joking.
Oh, that is so
It's
sad.
so sad. But
Hmm.
I will say, like, I never regretted a cent spent on your programs because they offer so much value and
Hmm.
continue. Like, it's been 2 or 3 years now since I went through your programs or the astrology program. And it's like, I still use that knowledge
Yeah.
every single day.
Daily. Hmm.
I still
Yeah.
use that information every single day in my life and every single relationship. And it just, and in my business too. And it's just, it's so much value. Like it is money well invested.
Absolutely. Anytime I look to invest in a program or a coach, or I'm looking to do something as a business owner, my simple formula is, will this help me to make this much every single month? If I invest X amount of dollars in, will it help me to make this repeatedly? And the answer is absolutely yes with this program. And like, if anything, it's like, so it's such a no-brainer yes. And I wanted it to be that way because I just want people to be able to access this. I've had coaches tell me, you're offering a certification program that should be 10 grand. And I'm like, I refuse to do that. I won't charge that much because I really believe that this can help people make money. It can change their life and it can actually put the power in their hands to get out of a rut or whatever is going on with them.
Yeah. Okay. So to close off, tell us if you made it this far, awesome. We love you. And tell us by each of the aura types, if they're feeling a yes, what is that going to feel like?
Yes.
Like?
So yeah, it's really with the authority that you're going to get the yes. So if you're an emotional authority, you're feeling really excited right now, and that's great. And look into the program, look through the links, message Nicole, and like all the things, and sleep on it, and really let your emotions kind of flow with it and all of that, because waiting is your friend. And then if you're a sacral authority, you're going to get this, like you're going to get this like movement forward, like you're opening up, like there's this like, yes, like that would be so good.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. And if you're a splenic authority, you're going to get a quick yes. You probably already got it way before this, where it's like, this is right. And it's quiet and it's still, and it answered once and you already know the answer. So like, just, go through the process and just make sure that you know where to sign up and all the things, but like you already know. If you're an ego authority, you're like, my heart is like so open to this and I just want this. Like this is like resonating with me, and like this is part of like why I'm on the planet, and there's that like drive of that. If you're a mental authority or a self-projected authority, which are only with projectors, you need to talk it through with somebody. You need to talk it through with Nicole, or reach out to me and book a call, and or talk it through with a friend and say, I just need to talk this through. I don't need advice, because you'll hear yourself say what you need to have, but it won't happen from you sitting and thinking about it. Or you could talk it through on like a voice note or something, but you need to talk it out so that you can have it. And if you're a reflector, there's a really good chance that you've been looking for something like this, and because the reflectors are the lunar authorities, and you've already been waiting for that lunar cycle. And so as you're feeling this, and as you look at the website and you look at different things and you feel my energy, if you're like, oh, this feels so good. Like this feels aligned, because there's reflectors. You're so sensitive to environment and people and who you're receiving from. It's so important. So as you go through those, everybody, it kind of all feels similar on some level, but like there's nuance in the difference. And so when you run your chart and you can look and see, you can tell like, am I like how to know specifically for you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that we're each wired uniquely to get our answers. Like God created us so perfectly. And I love, so if you are a believer, so is Naomi. And her program definitely makes space for that. So don't be afraid. I know that sometimes when people are looking at programs like this, they're like, is there room for my faith? Is there room for my beliefs? But they're not pushed on, like Naomi's beliefs. Other people's beliefs are not pushed on you, but there is space within her program for those to be present. So
absolutely. It is God-centered, not any specific anything. The different collaborators and all the different experts that are involved all have their own personal relationship with God, or even don't call God. I like the term light source. Like, what's your light source? Because that's the distinctive underlying difference, is that this really is all, I personally believe in giving all the glory and credit to my divine creator. And that's why this is so magnificent. It's not me. I just get to be the messenger. And so, yeah, if that's resonating with you, I know a lot of people have said, I will only learn this stuff from me, because because we keep faith in the mix.
Yeah. And that was for me personally, like when I was looking, I wasn't actually looking for an astrology program, but when it showed up, that was a big, like, I wanted that. I wanted somebody that included that, because I didn't want it to be, I want it to be aligned for me personally. So,
That's because you're a smart woman.
Naomi, this was so much fun. Your programs are just so phenomenal. And if you have questions, reach out to me, reach out to Naomi. There's going to be links in the description here with this video. And thanks for being here with us. So thanks, Naomi. I'm so excited for your next cohort. It'll be awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nicole.